With us, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, said it will begin a nationwide strike on Wednesday over the current increase in pump price as a result of the removal of subsidy. According to NLC, they would embark on a strike if Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, fails to revert the current template on the increase in the price of fuel occasioned by the withdrawal of fuel subsidy. Now, this is the only news Nigerians are talking about today, and it's the hottest topic of the season. The Tinubu administration is about a week old now, and many people are still saying that there are different views concerning subsidy removal. Others are saying that it's a good thing. Some are saying there's a need for review because it's such a harsh development for Nigerians at this time, especially. Some are saying it's not the right time. We should wait for the right time. What are your thoughts on this issue? We'd like to hear from Nigerians because many people are talking about it, but you see, it's always good when we hear from Nigerians directly how they feel about it, and it's great feedback for our policymakers. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVCconnect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read the tweet. From what you said earlier, Governor of Lagos State, for example, has said that has appealed to workers not to go on strike. Olisa Metu also appealed in the southeast that workers shouldn't go on strike. Although the Nigerian electricity workers have said they will also join NLC. So there are different sides to this. What are your thoughts? Let me say, I don't know who would like to go first, but what are your thoughts, first of all? I know we discussed it last week, but what are your own general thoughts on the fact that they want they want to go on strike? I would say I'm not surprised because we kind of knew this was going to happen.
Yes.
But.
You know, on the one hand, it's like, please, let's not start this way. Let's not go on strike. Let's find out how to solve this issue amicably. Let's sit down and have conversations. From what we've seen so far, we see that this administration looks ready to have these conversations. But even I have questions. We remember the president's speech when he said subsidy is gone, and then we were explained to a day later that it wasn't that the subsidy implementation is gone immediately, the removal is done immediately. It was, just part of the speech. But then we now have a list of prices for new prices set up by NNPC. And I'm like, why are we giving us prices again? When you remove subsidy, the market forces, are they not supposed to, just determine the prices of petrol? So why are you giving us prices? So what is happening? So I have questions, and I'm guessing those are the questions NLC has, but you cannot have answers to these questions if you're not going for meetings, having this conversation. So I know that eventually we're going to have some resource people come and talk to us. And so I'm not looking at NLC as the bad guy. I'm not pointing to them and say, oh, people are just wanting to disrupt, or hit up the polity. There are questions that need to be asked. They need to be, they're doing this for the interest of Nigerians. They need to be sure that government understands that this is tough on Nigerians. The prices are heavy. Everybody's saying it. Everybody's complaining about it. And now we're not just talking of, already regular Nigerians, are struggling with this. We're even talking of middle-class people who, for most of it, are able to handle, have been able to handle these prices. But these prices, they're just too much.
Let me come to you. You would like to go first next? Yes. What are your thoughts on this strike?
I have bought the fuel myself, and I sat down after buying that fuel. I was calculating how much I'm earning and how much I'm going to be using to buy fuel if this continues for a month. And there is no way my current salary can buy fuel and still have enough food to eat. There is no way. So I have felt the pinch as a Nigerian, and I am asking the question. So aside from the fact that I do not believe we will get anywhere with the strikes, we know how the strikes go. Before you realize it, some people are sorted, their interests somehow are attended to, and then they keep quiet and tell you, okay, don't worry now, let's just wait a bit. So we know how this goes. I've been in Nigeria for all my life, and I know how strikes go. So that's really not the solution. But like Miriam rightly said, NNPC has not been, I would say they have not been truthful to us. We are still asking the right questions. The amount of fuel you say we are consuming on a daily basis as Nigerians is not consumable. You have not told us. We are still looking for data of the exact amount that is being paid for the subsidy, the trillions you have mentioned, we're still looking for that data. There are questions that you have to come out and tell us. And what makes you the authority to fix prices? So you're fixing prices on your old products. It's not like they have bought new products, or they have not. So because the president just said subsidy is gone, you went back quickly to update your old product and rip Nigerians off. Why didn't you wait till it's time to, get the import the petroleum? Why didn't you wait and then you fix the prices according to, or allow market forces to determine the price? I know that the other day I spoke as a business person, which is when you hear that policy is about to change, you quickly protect yourself. But you are not a business person. NNPC is strictly a government.
Wait, let me be sure I understand what you're saying. So I buy this product, right? $100,
Yeah.
right? This is the product. Now, you're government, and you're saying, I will subsidize it 50%,
Yeah.
right? So I'm actually paying 50 for it, but the value is $100, right?
Yeah.
So you give me 50, I pay 50, right? So now government says, it's off, I'm not paying you that.
Yeah.
So I already know my cost is already 100.
Yeah.
And I go back and say, okay, because I'm paying 100 now, everybody must pay 150.
50.
150 to buy the fuel.
Yeah.
Now, so NNPC is now saying that, okay, the value is 100, right? I'm going to give you a bracket or a bracket range between 100 and 150. So I know I'm going to charge you 150, but every other person, you shouldn't charge less than 100 because 100 is actually the cost price.
Yeah.
So you decide how much you want to. So when I saw that figure between 500 or whatever, I can't remember the figure they wrote, is it 490 and 500? I'm thinking in my head that, okay, they are saying there's a range. We know the cost of this thing. So that range is the figure we saw. It's not as if the NNPC give us a number. Say, okay, you must charge this price. They're telling you, this is the range you can build. You can't build more than this amount. You can't go less. So nobody, they didn't come up with a figure, unless I'm mistaken. But that's how. Let me get the clarity.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the clarity.
No, NNPC is not private business. So.
They're not private.
NNPC is government business, and that's why the subsidy is going through them. They are the only sole importers of petrol. Nobody imports petrol.
Privatized. It's not limited, yes.
Yes, it's limited, but it's still highly controlled by government. So you say you are paying subsidy and subsidy has been removed. Why don't you wait to allow market forces? What's the hurry? The subsidy money that was taken out that we're not paying again is starting from June. Yeah. By 31st of May, you're already changing the prices. So
I'll come to you in a second. NNPC said that they have about enough for 30 days.
Yes.
So they already have the product.
Yes.
I've already bought the product. Market forces will come when I'm buying new products.
Yes.
Right now, I already have this product in, and I'm telling you, based on what I bought for this cost, so these are the range that I expect people to pay at the pump prices. But you know what? We'll come to that. But let me hear your initial thoughts, and I'll come back to you. Yeah.
So for me, I would say that the process of subsidy removal was not smooth at all. I didn't like the president's statement in saying subsidy is gone. I believe that we don't want subsidy. I have said over and over again that we don't need subsidy, that we need it as a people, but this framework of the current subsidy system is not profiting us as citizens. So I agree. All candidates, I did not give my opinion last week on the show, all candidates that were aspiring for presidency said they were going to remove subsidy. So we all knew subsidy had to go. But it was not a case of the leader coming on the first speech to say subsidy is gone. That was not the right way to make that transition. If the government had the new administration knowing what they were going to do, all of us had been prepared. Everybody in government now knew what was going to happen. Knowing what they were going to do, knowing the impact it will have on people, could have designed a better approach on how to do this. What do I mean by better approach? I know that we are going to have a conversation. All NLC come around. This is it. We all know. I have discussed with NLC. Maybe I come into power as the president. The first meeting I had is with NLC. The next meeting I had is with TUC. Everybody has the conversation. The NNPCL, PCL comes in to that same meeting. Everybody, the major oil marketers. Let me establish my scenario. Major oil marketers are in that meeting. The NNPC, we have major, their stakeholders are in the meeting, and I explain what we all know. Subsidy has to go. But with the stakeholders, how do we ensure that this subsidy removal does not shut down the country? Because the impact on me was the next day we did not have all Philippines was shut down.
So because you're not here last week when we discussed, I wanted to go back to the fact that we reminded Nigerians that the president did not remove subsidy. It was already, it's not in the budget, whether you like it or not. It's either an announcement or policy.
Yeah.
So, your budget already does not have it. So he announced, so
June.
he did not announce, so it's already gone.
Yeah.
Now, the meetings that you want to have, there's no other meeting that they've not had several times, even in the old administration. So the point is that even though that announcement was made, it was important for Nigerians to prepare their mind, whether with or without that announcement. It was already gone.
Mariah, we've discussed it here even before now.
Yes.
From the budget,
Yes.
that we did not have budget for subsidy.
Simple.
We also knew, and I had said it, that the previous administration was setting up the next administration for crisis. So the new administration knew there was going to be a crisis, and then the
What
statement
conversation
now
are we
came.
then having?
The statement now came heavy on the first day during your speech that subsidy is gone. What that happened, what that caused was everybody reacted. All filling stations shut down. We wouldn't have had that if the statement did not come out that day. It wouldn't have happened like that. But it has happened. From where we are now, what is the policy framework the government is going to implement to ensure that people are not profiteering off Nigerians?
I think
The
that's
price
conversation
went.
they're having now.
The price went from no. The conversation. It can't be a conversation. I know. I'm in the media space. There should have been a decision on how they would address profiteering. We are Nigerians. We know once the subsidy is out, everybody will hike price. So the government proactively should have known immediately, I made this statement, this is what will happen. So how do we address it? Not for us to now be still waiting for what is the government going to do. We already on this show said that we're not going to follow the policy. We don't agree with that policy of palliative of 10,000 naira. It doesn't make sense. So what exactly is now the policy this government is going to use to mitigate the crisis that has happened now?
Right.
Where the average Nigerian cannot afford, their salary cannot change overnight. And based on this current salary, with transportation going up,
Absolutely.
they cannot live off the
same way
means.
that refineries cannot be built overnight.
Yeah.
So somebody has to come halfway.
Yeah.
The same way our salaries is not going to increase. Everything to mitigate this removal cannot happen overnight. So remember we discussed the issue of trust.
Yes.
It's either we trust or we don't trust. Because many would have said, all the various governments have had, we don't trust them. So even if you remove subsidy today, I don't trust that amount of money you're going to save, you're going to do anything about it. Now, we can now choose. Because we don't trust, we're going to carry placard and remain to pay subsidy. We make a choice.
I don't support
it's a
the
choice.
strike.
I don't support the strike.
So we see. How do we then solve that problem? When we go on a break.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.